Okay, here's question 17 on the higher calculator paper. This question simply says, calculate the value of, and we've got the square root of tan 60 plus 1 all over tan 60 minus 1. The question says, write down all the figures on your calculator display. You must give your answer as a decimal. So, this is one of the first times they've used a question like this, and they've put trigonometry in there as well. We need to use the calculator, and they said, right, you write down all the numbers on your calculator display. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work out what tan of 60 is to begin with. So tan of 60 is, okay, there's a screen full of numbers here. Okay, so there's a couple of ways I could do this. I am going to use that. I'm going to write down the tan of 60 is, I'm going to write down all the numbers, 1.7320508088. Now, there's a clever way in which you could use these calculators, right, to do this type of question, so that I don't have to write down all of those numbers over and over again. Because what I need to do is I need to do this number here, 1.7320508808 plus 1, and then that same number minus 1, and then square root the whole thing. So what I could do here is, I think it is pretty straightforward. If I add 1 to this, right, so I need to work out the square root of 1 added to this, which is going to be 2.7320508808, and then in the bottom it's going to be take away 1 from this, and if I take away 1 from this, that would just disappear to 0, so 0.7320508808. And I'm going to work out this bit under the square root sign on my calculator. I'm going to type in all of those numbers, 2.7320508808 divided by 0.7320508808 equals, and the result I got for that is 3.7320508806, and I want to find the square root of all of that. So I'm going to press the square root button and type it all in, 3.7320508806 equals, and here's my result, 1.93185165 So that is my final result, and it's all the numbers on my calculator screen. Okay, before we leave this question, I just want to show another possible way in which you could do this. There are several different ways in which you could use the calculator quite cleverly to do this, but I'm going to try to put in that whole thing on my calculator screen. I'm going to show you the buttons to press as you do that. So I'm first of all going to square root, so I press the square root button. And then under the square root, I'm going to have a fraction. So I'm going to press this button on the calculator to make sure I have 2 levels on there. And you can see that coming up on the screen. So on the top one, I'm going to type in tan of 60, close the brackets, and then add 1 to it. And I'm going to use the arrow key, the replay button, to go down to the lower end. I'm going to do the same thing, tan of 60, close the bracket, and then this time I'm going to take away 1. You can see now that here it's pretty much identical to the question itself. And if I press equals, there you go. It gives me pretty much the same exact answer that I got. The only difference is I've got 2 at the end here, and they've got 3, and that's just a rounding error, but that would make no difference. I'm still going to get full marks either way for this, right? If you follow this, if you're able to use the calculator, right, in this way, in either way, you'll be able to get full marks with it. Make sure you do it. I prefer this technique here, where you just break it down into stages, right, and show everything so the examiner is able to see where you've messed up if you make a mistake, to see all your work in it and give you maximum method marks. So follow this through, make sure you are able to do it, make sure you're able to get full marks in it.